Hi, I hope this is my last video to Kamala Harris and the Democrat Party. And I say that is because I hope after tomorrow, the new administration will spend the next 4 years trying to rebuild all of the things that you have destroyed in our country. If we can go back, let's go back from 4 years. And let's look. At that time, we were just coming off or mandated things for COVID, for the pandemic. And we saw children being forced to wear masks that have been proven throughout history to be used to make people feel enslaved and to change the way they think about themselves and their self-actualization. And then we saw where schools were closed. We saw churches being forced to be closed. And we saw small businesses losing their businesses because they were forced to close. Whereas you had companies like Walmart, Amazon, the large mega companies were allowed to stay open. So you had all of these people who were middle class who lost their companies because they were forced to close. Then let's keep going, let's go forward with that. Then we saw all of the other occurrences that have happened. Let's look at Ohio and what happened in Palestine, Ohio, where we had train derailments. And every time we have a derailment, then something would happen and something would get spilled into the air, into the water stream, like it spilled into the Ohio River that led into the Mississippi River, and the water was contaminated. Now you all said very little about it. As a matter of fact, I don't think you even visited that area. And then now let's keep going. Let's go to just last year in Lahaina. We saw a fire there, a very unusual fire. And we all know that anytime something sounds unusual or seems unusual, it's usually because it was led by someone. And anyway, the fires in Lahaina, where the fires were set, the alarms did not go off, which is very unusual because they were supposed to have one of the best alarm systems. The children were told to stay at home that day. Why were the children told to stay at home? To this day, over 2,000 children are still missing from Lahaina. Their parents were not allowed to go in and even try to claim their children. There are people that their insurance would not pay for their homes, but they're still paying mortgages, and you all are not allowing them to rebuild. And the thing about Lahaina is that the billionaires that lived on the other side of the island, none of their homes were touched. A very strange situation. Then let's keep going. Let's go to the recent hurricanes. The hurricanes that we had here in the southeastern part of our country just a month or so ago. All of those hurricanes in the organization or the agency that was responsible for making sure that those people were taken care of went there to intimidate the people. They locked people out. They kept people from helping, people that came in from all over the country, all over the world. The federal agency that you're responsible for kept those people from helping people, just regular Americans. And then another thing with it, that storm started in the west and went east. Meteorologists all over the country said they never heard of that before. The last time you had a storm like that, a hurricane happen like that, was like in the 1800s. So we had all of these occurrences that are so unusual, and at the same time, federal agencies that are given the responsibility to take care of Americans did not take care of Americans. Then let's keep going. Let's look at the big fish was illegal immigration. You allowed over 20 million people to come into this country and infiltrate our country. They have infiltrated communities all over the country. We saw where you had schools in New York that were closed down and the parents were not given any notice. They were sent a text the day before that their kids had to go to school online because their schools were going to be used to house illegal immigrants. Then you saw what happened to the people in Chicago, that their rec centers had to be closed. The rec centers for black kids had to be closed because you had to house illegal immigrants there. And if that was not enough, we saw people all over the country who had suffered all of these natural disasters were given, if they qualified, $750, whereas you gave credit cards of $15,000 to illegal immigrants. They got free housing, free childcare, free health care, free food, everything, even free transportation to fly anywhere they wanted to in the country as Americans suffered. So you totally neglected Americans while you took care of people that we didn't even know who they were or where they were from. So that is why I say to you, I pray that this is the last video that I do that is totally addressed to Kamala Harris and the Democrat Party. What you have done to our country is unconscionable, and anyone that is awake understands that. So I just hope I never have to make another video pertaining to you.